Got the true diehards out here today. But yeah, it was players had a day off. We kind of started kind of slow this morning, and so we actually had to start the practice over. Started a couple periods over, then I just blew it up and said, man, let's get back in flex and let's start this thing over. And then they picked it back up and got it going. So we ended up getting out of the day what we needed to get out of it. But I wasn't happy about the fact that we started slow. And like I told them, we're not going to be able to start games over. Go back in the locker room, come back out. We got to be ready to go every time. Ready to go to work and execute. And so, but that's the type of experience that we have to have. That's part of camp. It happens, and then you have to confront them, demand that they do it right. Understand. Make sure they understand. What's really going on. What's our purpose? Why are we here? Get them back focused and get them going. And I told them it's going to be just like that in a game. We may give up a big run, or we may throw an interception, or give up a sack, or get the ball thrown over your head. But then now what? So what? Now what? You got to go back and refocus, move on to the next play. You just can't just let it just continue to slide. You got to fix it. And that's where the leaders have to step up. And so I brought some leaders out in front of the squad. I said, here's your guys by position. And so, I'm counting on the leaders along with the coaching staff to make sure that if we do have some adversity, we're able to bounce back right away and create our own momentum. And a big part of that is just neutral thinking. It's not that you got to be positive. It's not that it's if you're just non-negative and just say, okay, now what do we have to do now? What's next? How do we get the job done? And just staying neutral and not judging the situation, just saying it is what it is. Okay, now what's next? That allows you to move on to the next play and then create your own momentum. And so we had an opportunity to do that today, and it was a great learning experience for us.
Was that the first time all camp you had to do something like that?
Yes, yeah. I anticipated it happening earlier, but it didn't. And so, but like I said, this is a human performance business, And so things don't go always like you want them to go, but you have to learn from it and move on, and that's what we did today.
I feel like those guys are maybe getting antsy for a game.
No, we shouldn't be. I told them this is camp, and we're not focused on CSU right now. We're focused on us and getting better. And I told them that before we came out here. I showed them the calendar. I said, this is a camp day. This is a work day. Let's not be distracted. Let's continue to be focused on getting better as a football team. And so, that shouldn't be the case.
Who were the leaders that you brought out in front of the guys, and did they do their bit in just holding the rest of the team accountable?
Yeah, I just called out by position. I said, who are the leaders at each position? Those guys that were leaders, they stood up and they walked. I said, come on, stand over here by me, and then we talked to the team. I continued to talk to the team, and so, those guys, everybody knows who the leaders are on the team, and so. And we've had enough practices together. We've had enough time together. We went through winter conditioning. We went through spring ball. We come out here, had a great summer, and then come out in fall camp. So we know who the guys are. And so, it's up to those guys, along with the coaching staff, to lead. And if you're not a leader, then you need to follow and get in line.
You mentioned after Saturday that you guys would start making some kind of depth chart positions, putting guys on scout team. Did you guys start doing that yet today, or is that still ongoing?
Yeah, it's still ongoing. We've got a pretty good idea who our ones are and who our backups are and that type of thing. But again, this was another work day and nothing set in stone. And we're going to the season and it's going to be based on performance, who gets the playing time and who doesn't. And it's going to be based upon production. And it's going to be fluid. Obviously we'll have our starters going to the game and our backups, but it's going to be a compete, everyday situation. And earn your playing time. They'll get what they deserve. You'll get the playing time that you deserve to get by the way you work and the way you prepare and the way you compete every day and get better.
You talk about all meat and potato, no pastry. Is Brady Russell kind of that guy? Is he that blue-collar guy that kind of fits that mold for you?
Yeah, he's that guy. In the encyclopedia, you look it up, that's his picture right there. He's that guy. He works hard every single day. I mean, he's a yes sir, no sir. He gives great effort on special teams. He blocks. He runs right. He catches. I mean, he's always positive. He's very consistent. He's a program guy. He's the type of guy that you can point to and say, hey, if you want to know how to work, look at that guy. He works.
You've mentioned Mekhi Blackman a few times in this camp. How is he doing as camp has progressed?
Yeah, he's gotten better as we've gone on. I mean, he's light years ahead of where he was in the spring, you know, and so it's really consistency in performance. With him, he's still a relatively young guy, and you know, every day is just another day of experience and working on your craft. And you know, it's hard to it's not easy to get better. You know, it's not just it just doesn't happen. You know, it has to be a deliberate and conscious effort and focus to do what it takes to get better each and every day. And so Makai has done that, you know, to a large extent. And for him to continue to get better, he's going to have to just be more consistent, you know, in terms of how he practices and the focus that he gives in practice. Because when he's focused and when he's deliberate, he improves on those days. And he's had a lot of days where he's gotten better, but you know, the standard is the standard, and the expectation is high, and so you know, I want him getting better every day. You know, I want to see it. I want to turn on the film and say, hey, you got better. This technique, we worked on it. We talked about this last night. You came out here today and did that. So that's what I want to see from him and all of these guys out here.
Is he your most versatile corner as far as he's played some star, some nickel, some corner as well? Is he your most versatile guy there?
He may be. We've got a couple guys that play a couple different spots, but you know, he's done a good job. You know, he goes inside and he plays in the slot, and he does a good job outside. And so, in order to play two positions, you know, you have to have really good football instincts. You know, you have to be dedicated to your craft. You have to study extra. You have to pay closer attention. I mean, you're playing two spots. You know, so. I'm proud of him for that, and I'm just looking forward to continue to see him get better, and who knows what he can become. I mean, he's got a lot of talent.
In particular, just among your D linemen, your secondary, where you've got a good number of guys who are coming off limited snaps seen last year, and some of them no game experience. Is it kind of a matter-of-fact thing to say that on August 30th, like, there's going to be a decent amount of baptisms by fire for your guys?
I'm not sure what baptism by fire is, but I don't care how much experience a guy has or doesn't have. I mean, whoever does the best and gives us the best production and practice is going to go out there and play in the game, and then it's going to be what it's going to be. You know, I'm not really concerned about experience, lack of experience, how much. If you have experience, you got to prove that you can still do it. You know, and if you don't have the experience, you got to go out there and prove that you can do it. I mean, it's always a prove it, regardless of how much experience you have. And so I'm excited to see some of our young guys go out there and get a chance to play for the first time, or if they've had limited snaps before in games. I want to see them out there. I want to see as many guys that deserve to play. I want to see those guys out there playing, regardless of their experience level, because that's what we're here to do.